Hey there, my name is Brandon Howe, and welcome back to my Making a Game series. In the last episode, we improved some of our models. So we got an asteroid model here, and we made player shot model thing, and an enemy shot. So now, everything's looking all fancy schmancy. So now, and when our shooting enemies come in, bam, we got those two. Alright, so in this episode, we're going to start improving our background. So right now we just got this black emptiness. We're going to improve that. So what I'm thinking that we're going to do for this is we're going to create a bunch of like planet type things. So something that looks like the sun, something that looks like a Saturn-like planet, just different colored spheres like that. And then we're going to have them all sort of scroll in, or like moving this way, and then after they pass like a certain point, they just get warped back to the beginning over here. And then maybe we could also, when they get warped back, they get moved left and right a bit, so it's not always the same thing scrolling back. There's some randomness to it, and that sort of thing. So let's do that. So I'm going to go into Blender, and actually, this should be pretty easy for the most part. We're just going to have a whole bunch of low poly spheres, so I'm just going to turn that down. Bam. This is going to be, I'll go sun, and it'll be yellow. Actually, we could also be more alien-y and have things of different colors. That's an option. But for now, I'll just go sun. Ta-da. Easy as that. In fact, I might make a new folder specifically called background, just to organize things a bit. So I'll call this sun. Actually, I guess I don't know, make that brighter. Not that that will really make a difference since we're not going to be using material anyway. Then I'll turn this into a Saturn-like planet by making a ring around it. Although I'd like, actually give me a minute, and we'll delete that, put that back in. Making this have less segments. So it's also going to be really far in the distance and all of that, so we don't want... Ooh, okay, what am I... Actually, no, okay, let me try that again. I want the... This is... Whoa. I'm going to want to mess with just these values. There we go. Something like that, but then making this smaller. There we go. So mess with these. I don't know what these do. Whoa. Alright. Just messing around. I guess that works. I think I still might just shrink it just a tad. Alright, so now we got, I'll call it Saturn. And then this being a ring. And I'll do a save as Saturn. Alright, also I guess I'll make a new material for this called ring. And I'll make that, I don't know what color, I guess like a dark gray works, and then this, renaming it to Saturn, and then making this like a, I don't know what color Saturn is, I'm just going to go for a random blue, I guess. Alright, so now we got that, and as well, one other thing I'm going to make, I'll open up that something again, just to, well, I guess I didn't really need to do that. I'm just going to make another one that's actually an isosphere, because I think that could just look cool for just being different with all the triangles. I'll call it Ico Planet. That sounds kind of cool as a name, I guess, and it's what we'll go with. Oh, didn't mean to do that. So I'll call it Ico Planet, and then go like, again, the color really doesn't matter. You know, it can be a fancy green, I guess. So that, I think, should be it. We can probably manipulate a lot of these with random colors to be stars, different colored planets. We could have we could use the ring with the Saturn thing to have something that has two rings or like an X. Yeah, we should be able to make a bunch of different varieties, and I saved over the icosphere. Oops. Alright. I'll go back into that. So sorry, doing a save as here, calling this Ico Planet. That's not what I wanted. Ico Planet. And then going into, well, going back to that sun and then turning it back into what it was. Actually, I'll have to delete it. Make a sphere again. These got all reset, so I'll bring them down again. And then, actually, this doesn't necessarily need to be the sun. Like, it could just be a planet, and that should work. I can make it yellow, but because if we want it to be the sun, we can just have it have a glowing material, so it should be the same. So now that that's done, letting everything re-import here. Also, if we would have these spin, I imagine we could just do that with the rotating script. So I'm also going to name this to planet. So we're not going to need to animate these as well. Actually, now that I think about it, another thing one last planet type I might do is having something called a rounded sphere, which is basically taking a cube and subdividing it. So it's more round. I guess that could work as a planet. It's also far away, just because the normal planet kind of has, like, it has these poles. Just so we can have a rounded planet that doesn't have those poles. So this can just be, well, I'm going to call it rounded or cube planet, except it's not a cube, but oh well, it's fine for naming. Cube planet, and I'll be consistent with my spaces. And then I can make this, why not, being as alien as we possibly can. Cube planet. Although we could actually then also make something that's an actual cube and all that. But at this point, this should work, just this array of what we've got. One final thing I'm going to do as well, I'm actually going to duplicate this asteroid that we have here and have that also be background thing, because we can use that as well. So we have this deformed thing as well. So waiting for this to all import, and now I'm going to select all of these and get rid of the animations, animation types to none, then this to calculate, this to 0, as well. I can uncheck import lights, cameras, and visibility. That shouldn't really make much of a difference, but I don't know, it might. So now waiting for that. Just waiting a few seconds for this to update with all of this. Alright, so now as well I will go and replace all these materials. So that gray, and then this can be the blue, I guess. Waiting a few seconds on that. Now going through, this will be the yellow. This, unfortunately, I have to do one at a time, but that's fine. This to green. We really don't have a green? Alright, guess we'll do that. Revert, duplicate that, calling it green to green. I can't do that. Why not? Cannot name assets from that destination path already exists. I can't name it to green. Oh, well, this is cyan. Oops. And then this being green. Don't know how long that's been like that. Oh well. And then changing this all the way up to over here. There we go. So now background, changing this all the way to green. Apply. Over then to the cube planet, our last one, and changing that to purple, which we do have. Alright. And there we go. So now we got these planet things to work with, and this asteroid. So let's start doing that. So I guess we'll first of all make a new empty object that we're going to call background. If I can have a G. Alright, we're going to zero that out. Just to store everything all nice. I'll drag one of each in. Alright, making them all child objects of this background, and then I'm going to drag them all down really far. and then kind of move them out, just give them some separation, just so we can see them all. And well, the Saturn, yeah, there. And now let's see what we can actually see. So we're gonna want to make sure that they're really low, so they don't obstruct the game view too much. That's not really low. There. Now, as well, we could make I could duplicate this planet and make it a star. Nope, not like a star, and then give it a material. I'll give it a white material. So I'll duplicate the gray, make it white. Duh. All right, and then I can drag that onto there. If did that duplicate properly? No, did not. All right. Bam, and then giving it the white material. I'm going to call it, star. And then that's going to want to be, I guess, really far down. Actually, as well, I'm going to duplicate both of these and then make a glowing white and a glowing yellow. Yellow. All right. And then down over here, we can check the mission box. Actually, I'm going to shift select both of them, check a mission on both. Actually, then going back to this, having this glow yellow, and then having this one glow white. Those might be too bright, but we're about to find out. So now giving this the glowing yellow, cool, and giving this the glowing white. All right, I think that is good. This one might be going, yeah, it's probably fine for now. I also actually just want to experiment what just happens if we made it have a different color than what it's glowing as. An interesting effect, I guess. Not exactly what we want, but like it doesn't really do much, but I want to undo that, yeah. Alright, and actually what about this one, just to kind of see if we can get interesting effects going on. Nope, alright. Sometimes experimenting can be something good to try. Oh, that's kind of interesting, I guess, but we're just going to stick with the white for now. So now we're going to want to place these all about. So this star, I'm going to put it at -150. Actually, yeah, -150, I suppose. And then the rest of these, actually, I don't know how low I want them to be. -50? That probably works. When it's actually scrolling by, I'll probably have a better idea of whether this works or not. So now we're going to want to take this star and we're going to want to duplicate it a whole bunch. Yeah, so I guess we're just going to make a whole bunch of stars that are hopefully in the game area. Like, hopefully we can see them. I don't know how far out I'll need to go. That works. Oh, that doesn't even cover that much. Alright, then I'll duplicate this. Let's go, like, how far do I need to go? About that far. Like this, and then I can also go and rotate them. No, if I go over to change that from pivot to center, then I can rotate all of them, kind of, sort of. Ooh, I could also give some 3D-ness to them. That could also help. Doing that over here a bit. Oh, over here. That looks nice to me. Hopefully, I don't know, we'll see. Yeah, it does look a bit speckled. If I go beyond... Alright, that's a lot of stars. Alright. Yikes, that doesn't look very pretty. Let's, Alright, so... There's probably... I don't want to duplicate individual one. I'll just like a group. There's probably a much better way to go about this, but this is, I don't know, the easy way. If we were dealing with texturing and whatnot, it'd probably be better to... Oh, don't know when that got moved. Oh my, that wasn't... Okay, let me deal with that real quick. Boom. Okay, I just want to see for a second what this clutter looks like when it's scrolling. Like with enemies coming by. Okay, it's not that bad. It's not too distracting or anything like that. Yeah, it'd probably be a lot better if we. Okay, let me try actually just making all of these a lot closer by selecting all of them and making their y-axis -50. They don't necessarily need to be that far away or that small. Actually, I could probably just make their scale a lot smaller. Oh, that looks a lot more star-like, but maybe a bit too small. Something like that, yeah. And then if I went and... Actually, just because we have so many, I'm just going to make a separate empty for all the stars. I meant to hit S, not T. Alright then, here. Selecting all of these. And... Whoa. Making that a child object of these stars. Alright, now what happens if I... Not that way. Not that way either. Yeah, just kind of slowly having like them coming in, and then as they disappear off the bottom, they come back in on the top. Then I could also have some spin. That might look weird. I don't know. I could also... Thinking away of how I can have more randomness, there's also kind of a hole there. Duplicate, and then move, and then rotate. Just kind of fill in the holes. It might be better later in the long run. Oh, that's still not even at the same height. Might be better in the long run to perhaps we could like procedurally spawn all of these stars, like having like 200 star objects, and then as soon as you hit start, then between like from here to there in like a box, it like spawns or it places all the stars in those spots. That way it would also be random each time, which would probably be good for replayability and all that. In fact, I think I'm actually going to do it that way. So, you know what? Yeah, so you can have more programming to do, I suppose. Now, these aren't literally labeled right at all. I'll go back to deleting all except one. And then I'll go zero that out. Oh, and even these aren't the same. Alright, and actually I'll make the stars variable have the -100 and this have 0, and then I can create a C# script for star placer, I guess is what we're going to call it. Yeah. Now, I think rather than instantiating like 200 stars off the top, it might be better to just have 200 stars already exist to place around, so I'm just going to duplicate to 10 and then duplicate more till we get to 200. Alright, easy enough. Then delete there. I think that's actually 201, but whatever, it's fine. So now we're going to star placer, so we're going to have a public game object array that is all the stars. And then we're going to go, we're going to want a min and max place of spawning them. Public, I guess we'll make them ints because, it might work better. Yeah, it'll be better if there's floats. So public float, xmin, public float, xmax, public float, ymin, public float, ymax. Alright. And then, yeah, we'll sort out what those are. It'll actually be like a cube, so I think it's probably going to be like negative. Let's go 100, 100, and then -100, and 100. And actually, this should be Z and Zmin and Zmax. So we're going to do all this on start. So for, we're going to go through each star for int I equals 0. I is less than stars dot length I plus plus. So bam, and then we're gonna go. So going through each star, we're gonna want to set its position. So star dot. Actually, if we're just setting the position, we can just have we can just get the transforms. So stars I dot position equals about new vector 3. So in the x position is going to be random dot range from negative x min to positive, or to x max. Actually, sorry, just x min to x max. The y component being negative 100, and then the z component being the same, but with z's instead of x's. Alright. Cool. Let's hope that works. Alright, so now we're going to want to then add this script to our stars, and then we're going to want to shift select all of these. Actually, no. Sorry. Selecting this lock so it stays on this object. Bam. Scrolling back up, and then dragging those to get all these references in there. So now let's see if this actually works. So these stars should be placed in a random position between negative 100 and 100. Alright. I think that worked. Let me hit play again. Those seem different to me. Actually, oh, and theoretically, every time we respawn, it should change as well. So that's actually, that could be cool. Potentially. So if we die, then they should be in a different position. Oh, I kind of like that. Though it seems it needs to go a bit further. That's fine. We can do that. I think also the stars are might be a little big. So I'm just also gonna, unlocking. Setting these to 0.5 all around. Going back up 2 stars, and then setting, lowering that, and setting these to maybe -1. Let's go 200, because we kind of want to have some, or not going exactly to the end of the screens, going a bit over, probably help. Alright, so 200s all around. We could also probably make the this way a bit shorter. Oh, they're a lot more spaced out now. That might be a problem. Oops. Yeah, they're way too spaced out now, so let's go into the middle at 150. 150, negative 150, and 150. Wow. Also, actually, now that we made the stars smaller, we could potentially have more of them, so maybe I can create that 200 to, like, 400. Okay, actually, that maybe looks fine. We could also, in different levels, sort of change the density. Like, in, like, level 1, have a small amount, level 2, have more, that kind of thing. Yeah, I think that looks good. So now we want them to actually scroll. Actually, we should probably also deal with our planets as well. Actually, we could probably have the same thing. You know what? Yeah, we could probably do the same thing where we just randomly place them as well. So because then we have randomness, which could help. Especially if we want to make, like, lots of levels, we could easily have just having it work with different planets of different colors, and then that, yeah, there would be randomness, which would be less work for us, which would be great. So I'm actually going to rename this to Planet Placer, or Background Placer, to combine both of them. I would make more sense. Actually, no, because thinking, because they are going to be different values. Actually, I'll rename that to Star Placer, but then I'll make a new one called Planet Placer, which is going to be kind of the same, but having somewhat different values. So create okay, no. Changing this again, I'm going to call this just Background Placer, and it's going to do both. Background placer. Waiting for it to compile. Then we're going to open it up. And then we're going to go and I have to rename this to be the same. Background placer. And then I'll have a transform for the stars. And then I'm going to go like this and go public transform. Oh, actually, okay. Public, we add a public float called Y. We could have a Y min and max as well, because then varying the distance a bit would make it look less flat. So let me actually add a Y min equals -150, and then a public float Y max equals -100. And then I'm gonna just sandwich it in between here, and then I'm gonna change this over here to y values, and I'm also just gonna change this, rename this object, except that's a word that already exists. Objects with an S. That name doesn't already exist. Okay, bam, bam, and bam. Renaming those there, and I can get rid of this update. Actually, no, I won't, because that will probably also deal with. In a moment, we'll deal with the scrolling through it as well. So now I'm going to, on here, objects, I'm going to reassign this to being all the stars. Dragging those in there. So we got all those. And now I'm going to undo that. Then I'm going to go to the background thing and then add the same script there. Background placer. And then this, I'm going to lock that. I'm going to place all of our planets in there. And actually, I'll undo that. Yeah, make sure that's undone. I'm actually going to duplicate these just so we have more planets to work with. Actually, I'm also just going to unscroll this. I'm going to take these and then zero out all of their positions, except make this like -50. And I'm going to duplicate them. Except actually then I'm going to move them to the side, and I'm just going to actually just change their colors so we just have a version of each type with a different color palette, just because, why not? Alright, so then I'm going to go and to our materials, I'll just add random colors. So we'll make, oh, those did not move the way I thought they did, but alright, so we're going to have, we'll have a red planet, I guess, and we'll have an orange, actually we'll make a glowing orange sun. Actually, no, we'll just have one sun. Whoa, yeah, alright. Bam. We can have a big purple planet. Actually, those are kind of the same. We already have one of those. So we'll make it a cyan planet, and then we're going to make it green rings over there, and an orange planet. Why not? An alien-y. And then we can make the, I don't know, we'll make the asteroid blue, and then this. What colors do we have left to work with? This we can make a glowing white. Actually, then it'll kind of blend in with the stars, so we'll make it, try not to use every color. Sorry, like that. Let's make that, then do that there, and then we have the green left over for that. Bam. Alright, different colors. Cool. So, now taking all these, zeroing them out again, except -50. Alright, so now, yeah, so now here, now I'm going to lock this again. We're going to take all of our planets, and we're going to put them in here. Cool. And then our positions will be very much different. So I can actually just sort of test this. If I move this on the x-axis, how far can I go? What am I grabbing in the distance there? Or it's moving. Why would that be moving the stars as well? Because this is locked and I'm not selecting the right things. That would be why. So this, all the way to about there, will go a little lean room. So we'll say -70, all the way to +70. -70 and +70, then on the y-axis negative 100, wait, so from negative, let's go -60 to -40, 40, And then this will also make negative 70 and positive 70. So now that should work for most of those, except I have one more idea that I'd like to do, and that's giving the planets some random rotation, so they're not... Okay, most of the planets are just going off screen. That's not what we want. I mean, it is random, I guess, and by having some of them be off screen, it's making it more random, but they're still going a lot further than I would like them to. So, going back over to yonder, it seems... So, where are these going? So, Q planet, 40, 50, 60. So, that's, like... Nah. Okay, so a lot of these are going way too high, so maybe I actually will change this of the Z value to 50, and actually, maybe I will make the Z value slightly on screen, so the Z will be negative 74. Oh, right, because also changing this will change things as well. Okay, so let me meddle with these values again, changing this to 60, 60. I'll keep those Y values. They seem good to me, I think. Then the Z's will be from 50 to 50. That might work better. Hopefully. Okay. I think it's working. Yeah. I think. Yeah. Alright, so we're getting the results that we want to. Last thing I want to do is... You only really notice it with the Saturn planets, but if we make more types of planets that are different shapes, they're all facing the same direction, so I'd like to add something in here that randomizes their direction as well. But with the stars, we don't want to randomize their direction, so we're going to add a public bool, which is rand dir, just short for rand direction, and by default, that'll be set to false. So on the background placer where we move the stars, that's going to be false, and on the background placer where we're moving all the planets, then it'll be set to true. So that will... So going through each object, it sets its position. Then if rand dir, so if rand dir is true, then the object's rotation object dot rotate objects I dot rotation equals new, or sorry, actually, I believe you can go random dot rotation, and that'll give you a quaternion. Random dot rotation. Yes. All right. So now, oh wait, I still didn't set it to true over on the planet side. So over here, then there. Cool. All right, so now these are they have random rotations as well. I'd like to actually add a rotator script to the or maybe, so we have this rotator script that rotates things consistently. We could add a random rotator as well. Actually, I'd like to do that just for even more randomness. The more randomness, the better. Yeah. So make a new script called random rotator. Cool. And furthermore, I'm not going to bother doing this, but another thing you could do to extend this is have, you could make even more planets and then also randomize it so that it only activates a certain number of them. But I'm just going to keep it to using all of them for this. Oop, meant to go over here. Or did that? Okay, so I created it, I didn't open it over here. Opening that. So this will, so random rotator, we'll want a speed, I guess, public, so how fast it's randomly rotating. And we'll also rotate this through the transform, because we don't want to be adding rigid bodies to all of our planets and stuff. It's unnecessary, I guess. So public float speed. And then over in the update, we're going to rotate it randomly by going, I think we'll go transform dot rotate, rotate. Alright, so new, so we need a vector 3. So we can go a new vector 3 where we get the x component is random dot range from negative speed to speed, and then the Y component, and there's a lot of extra brackets there that we don't want. Well, then, so that's the X component, so random not range from negative speed to speed, and then comma, from same thing for the Y, and then the same thing for the Z, and then a bracket there. And wait, there's more brackets than we want, again. Alright, so now I think that should work. That might have wonky results, possibly. We're about to find out. So this I'll go random rotate. And I might actually then, if this works, I might do our asteroid hazards. I might add this to them as well. So I'll go 10. Oh, right. I also want to go in over here to multiply this by time.delta time so that when you pause the game, they stop rotating. When we get to that, which will probably only be like maybe 2 episodes from now, when we get to finally making a pause menu. Yeah, and I think there's a small bit of wobble. That's okay. So making that 100. Actually, just so I can see, make sure it's rotating, I'm going to set it astronomically high over here. And that is not what we want. All right. Yeah, we're going to want some smoothing, because if it's just, yeah, the way that we're trying to get this to rotate is twitchy, so we're going to want to do this differently. I'll be right back while I think about how I'm going to do this. Alright, so actually I kind of realized what I was trying to do here probably isn't what we want to be doing really anyways. If I were to get this working as I'm trying to, it'll make it so that the object will be spinning but changing direction almost constantly, which for something like a planet isn't something we'd want to be doing anyways. We wanted it to be rotating the same way, just start rotating a random direction. So actually what we're going to do is we're going to kind of make this like our rotator script, but just randomize this direction thing in start. So we're going to make a private vector 3 called dir. And then actually our, so then in the start function we're going to want to go dir equals new vector 3 from negative speed, this whole thing here. So then that'll start off being a random direction based on all those speed values. Whoa, all right. And then this will then just be dir times time.delta time. And we already dealt with the speed in here, so we don't need to deal with it in there. Yes, I think. All right, that should hopefully work better. And then I think I can leave that as being 100. Hopefully. So now we'll see if these work like I want them or we want them to. All right. Cool. I'm also going to go to the back to the our hazard, this, and I'm gonna swap out the rotator for the random rotator. Boom, and then that'll be like also 100, I guess, and then I'll get rid of that. So that way, each asteroid is rotating in a different direction, just so it doesn't look so uniform, because we don't want it to be. All right, cool. We got more cool functionality. That is great. And if I die and respawn, everything's in a different place. Ah, great. I really like how that's turning out. Cool. So now we can also go and make more planets of different colors, more models. You could have planets that actually have, like, more stuff on them. Like, you could make something that looks like Earth that has, like, blue, water, and green. And then you could color it whatever colors you want to. Cool. Then you can also make, like, space stations and all that. But I'm going to try and just be basic enough for now here. And also, I'm just going to take these and move them far off screen just to start. Negative 100, negative 100, just so they're kind of out of the way when we're worrying with other things. So negative 100 and, well, negative 100. All right, and now just I want to make sure that doing that isn't going to cause any unforeseen problems. So now we are almost done here. One last thing I want to do is just get these to actually move this way, and then come back into the top. And actually, because they're... actually, no, yeah, I will change their position. So we're going to then want, yikes. All right, so how we're going to do this is that each of these planets and each star are also going to have a script that's going to move them downwards, and then whenever they're x, wait, which way are we in? Whenever their x component gets below a certain point, then we're going to blip, make their x component really big again, so that they basically just keep going in a cycle. And then maybe also every time we'll do that, we'll re-randomize the x position. I won't bother with re-randomizing the rotation or anything like that, just keeping it simple. So we're going to want to then make one more script here, not that. Create a C# script called background mover. All right, get rid of that. So wait for this to come in. All right, so now background mover. We could also, we'll make everything moving at the same speed because it's like they're so far in the distance that they would be kind of moving in the same speed, I guess. Also, if we had them moving at different speeds, then they might start to like go through each other. So just to save ourselves a headache there, it'll just have a consistent speed. Or we might want everyone to have the same speed, but then maybe we could change the speed if we want to make it look like the ship is speeding up or slowing down for different levels. For now, we'll just have a one consistent speed. We'll also, again, only move it through the transform just because, especially with the stars, because there's so many of them, we don't want to be using all our physics resources on moving all of those when we can do otherwise. So, we're going to want a value for what this lowest x value or z value that we can have is before it jumps back to the top, and we'll call this public float. What was our on our background placer? We made this our x max 10, so or 100. So we'll make that. Actually, we can call this z min again equals 100 or negative 100. Yeah, negative 100, and then that'll blip to the top, and then it'll blip to a top of, I'll call it z max equals 100. Basically the same thing, and then also just to be the same, putting it back up there. Okay, actually, now that I think about it, if I'm making so much of the same anyway, I might just no, because this never mind. Yeah, 100, negative 100. I could have actually the background placer, since it has references to all these objects, it could move the objects for them, and then if I do it through here, then I can have them all move with a uniform speed. Actually, I like that much better. So I'm actually just going to close that background mover, and I'll deal with that later. So I'm actually going to have down here, I'll add another public float speed. And I guess I'll make that equal to, these are probably going to have to move pretty fast because they're so far in the distance. So actually on update, we'll make it so that it's going to go through each object, which I'm hoping doing this isn't going to be too bad. It's only 200 objects, can't be that bad, right? No. So objects I dot position. So we're going to want to move it down along the z-axis. So equals new vector 3. Actually, okay. Equals new vector 3 transform dot position dot objects I dot position dot x for the x value. Bam, objects dot position dot x, then dot y, and then same thing but dot z, except that then this is going to be minus speed times time dot delta time. Yeah, alright. Now that might hopefully work. So then we're going to want to have an if statement to test if it's below the its x min. So then if objects I dot position dot z is less than the z min, or wait, which one? Yeah, if it's less than our z minimum, which is like negative 100, then we'll set it to equal the x max, z max, which then makes it better that we made the x min max bigger, because, like, even though it goes more off screen, because then we won't catch this blip of it moving. Oh, and you can't just set the z direct value directly, so we have to set it to a new vector 3, and I'm just going to grab all this here. New vector 3, again, brackets, the x is the same, the y is going to be the same, and then the position going to be x max, or z max. Bam. And actually, so then there's even more randomness. Actually, when it goes to the top, we could re-randomize them on the other two axes. Axi? Sure. So, setting it to x and re-randomizing these two, and then setting this to the max, that should do it, I think, hopefully. So, going back here, letting this all compile, and I'm hoping this won't run too slowly. Background mover, we don't need that anymore. I'm hoping that doing it without using physics won't cause lag. So render, yes, speed, 100, and then that's going to be the same on here. Let's cross our fingers and see what happens. Please work. Whoa! Okay, that's actually really cool. I like it. This. Whoa, that actually. Okay, it's fast. It's too fast. Okay, maybe the background planets need to be a lot slower. That's for starters. But that actually looks really cool, I think. My opinion. And then I'll make it a bit slower. Just to, yeah, just all right. Wow. Okay. So we're going through, and then if we wanted to be extra crazy, we could have, like, I don't know, 4 certain hard-coded level things. We could have it set so that the like, as you're going through, when you hit like a certain point in the level, then you start to speed up or slow down. If we had like a boss huge enemy at the end of a level, then we could like really slow down or something, or go really fast. Who knows? The enemy's kind of glitching. Maybe that's me. But yeah. All right. So we're going through. That feels a lot more like going through space. One also last little thing. I'm also just gonna take the So I made this a solid black before. I think I'm just gonna make it like a slight lighter dark blue. Just, I think that might just look better. Actually, go over to here so I can actually see it. Actually, let me go into the game and then modify it kind of just so I can see how it looks with everything else around it. Alright, so our game's starting to look prettier. That's nice. We're going to make it really bright. No. Oh, you could also have different... Well, you could have, like, cool, like, nebula, having, like, being, like, a green area. Or, like, when you have a boss, you could have tinted red. There is a lot of stuff to be done. Actually, it's all just... actually, I can then copy the hexadecimal thing, go to play mode, and then set this back. Or, no, over here. Bam. Actually, made it just a bit darker. Alright, so yeah! Alright, so we got this done. We have a cool background. It's all very randomized. I wasn't expecting to do all this when I first started this. But here we are. I'm actually quite happy with how this is turning out. And even just this game in general. Initially, I said this was going to start off being like a really small thing, but I'm thinking I'm going to take this a lot bigger than I initially said. I also, originally, when I first started this, I made that game, or I did that game jam theme generator. That was mainly just to start thinking of ideas, I guess. I don't really need to follow it that much anymore. I mean, if you were doing it something like this for a game jam, then yes, you kind of would, because that would be kind of the point. But that was just kind of spawn ideas. So, all right. So this, I'm just gawking over how good this looks, I think. And then you could also make more planets and stuff like that, and there's more fun to be had in this. But anyway, I think that will do it for this episode. In our, whoop, let me go back over here. All right. Yeah, wow. So that'll do it for this episode. Next time, I think we're going to go and improve the player model, and then I don't know if we're going to actually need animations for it. That'll be a maybe. We might add, like, a tilt when as it's moving left and right, but that might be done through coding. Yeah, we'll see about that. Or I might make a pause screen. This, again, was another episode with a lot of art stuff. Actually, you know, it had a lot of programming. So next time we'll do, so next time we'll do more art stuff of making the player, and then episode after that we'll go back to coding more stuff, and then, yeah. All right, so that's what we'll do. So thank you all so much for watching. In the next episode, we'll be making the player's model, an actual ship, and all that. Yeah, so thank you all so much for watching, and have a good day. Woo!